Imagine this for a moment. One single song, just one track, has the power to completely change the way you see yourself, your future, and maybe even your entire life. It sounds almost too dramatic, doesn't it? But it's not. It's real. It happened. And not just to anyone, it happened to Johnny Depp. Yes, the very same Johnny Depp you've seen in some of the most iconic roles in film history, the man who made Captain Jack Sparrow unforgettable, who turned Edward Scissorhands into a piece of art, who seemed like he was destined to be a Hollywood legend. But before all of that, before the fame and the flashing cameras, before the awards and the controversies, before the world even knew his name, there was a song. A song that struck him so deeply that it set him on a completely different path. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever had that kind of moment with music? You're just sitting there, maybe in your room, maybe driving in the car, maybe with headphones on while walking, and suddenly a song plays that makes you freeze. It's not just background noise. It's not just entertainment. It's something else. It hits you like a wave. A lyric feels like it was written for you. A melody feels like it's echoing the exact feelings you couldn't even put into words. You stop, you listen, and you think, this is me. This is my life. This is my story right now. If you've ever had that happen, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you haven't yet, maybe it's still waiting for you. That's exactly what happened with Johnny Depp. The thing about stories like this is they remind us that celebrities aren't born icons. They don't just wake up one day with success handed to them. They're people, just like you and me, with doubts, struggles, and dreams that sometimes feel too big for the world. When you peel back the layers, you discover the small but powerful moments that shaped them, the quiet sparks that led to the fire. For Depp, that spark wasn't a movie role. It wasn't a fancy audition. It wasn't even Hollywood. It was music. Always music. Picture Johnny Depp as a teenager. Forget the Hollywood red carpets, forget the movies, forget the paparazzi. Imagine a young kid sitting in his room, trying to figure life out. He wasn't sure where he was headed. He wasn't born into fame. He wasn't someone who had everything planned out. He was like most of us, restless, uncertain, searching for meaning. And like so many kids his age, he turned to music. That's where he found his escape. He picked up a guitar. He listened to records. He let music speak for him when words failed. His fingers on guitar strings became the way he could express emotions he didn't know how to talk about. Before he ever thought about being an actor, before he was anyone's idea of a star, Johnny Depp was a musician. He was a boy with a guitar and a heart full of sound. And then came that one song. The song that would change everything. Can you imagine being that young and lost, unsure about the future, wondering if you even had a place in the world, and then suddenly hearing a track that feels like it's speaking directly to you? That's what happened. For him, this wasn't just a catchy tune on the radio. It wasn't something you just hum for a few days and forget. For him, it was like a lifeline. The song didn't just play, it spoke. The words carried his pain. The rhythm matched his pulse. The melody felt like home. That's how deep it was. And that's the beauty of music, isn't it? It sneaks into your life like that. One day you're just casually listening, and the next, you're transformed. It can happen with heartbreak songs, it can happen with motivational tracks, it can happen with something soft and soulful. The point is, when the timing is right, when your heart is open, the right song finds you. And when it does, you're never quite the same. That's what Johnny felt. And here's why it mattered. This song didn't just make him smile or cry. It reflected who he was. It mirrored the emotions and the dreams that he couldn't yet express. It gave him a sense of identity, a direction, a possibility. It told him, you're not alone, you're not crazy, and yes, you can chase this feeling and turn it into something real. That's why it stuck. That's why it wasn't just another track. Think back on your own life for a second. Haven't you had that experience too? That one song you played on repeat, that one chorus you couldn't get out of your head because it felt like the artist was inside your brain, narrating your exact life? The kind of song that you put on when the world feels too heavy, and suddenly you feel lighter? Or the kind of song that makes you feel like you're not alone in your struggles? That's the same kind of connection Johnny had. The impact was huge. It didn't just inspire him for a moment. It set off a chain reaction. That one track lit a fire inside him. It pushed him to start writing, to join bands, to put his energy into music in a way that went beyond just listening. It made him believe that music wasn't just something to enjoy, it was something he could live for. That's when he started chasing it. He didn't know he would end up being one of the most recognized actors in the world. That wasn't even on his mind. What he wanted was to play, to create, to let that feeling flow through his guitar and into the world. And that's what he did. He built his first identity as a musician, as a dreamer chasing sound. And even when acting eventually found him. Through a twist of fate, through opportunities that came almost unexpectedly, music never left him. It stayed at the core of who he was. It guided him, grounded him, reminded him of where it all began. Without that first spark, without that one life-changing song, maybe he never would have taken the risks that brought him to Hollywood. Maybe he never would have believed enough in himself to keep going when the odds seemed impossible. It's funny how people talk about turning points in life. They expect them to be dramatic, like a big opportunity, a huge win, or a life-altering event. But sometimes, it's something quiet, something small. A song. Just a song. But if it hits you at the right time, it changes the way you think, the way you move, the way you dream. That's what happened here. And here's where I want to share something interesting. Psychologists who study music say that the songs that change us share a unique quality. It's not just about rhythm or melody. It's about identity. When you hear a song that mirrors your emotions, your struggles, your hopes, your fears, it creates a deep bond. It doesn't just entertain you, it becomes a part of you. That's why certain songs never leave your playlist, no matter how many years go by. They're not just songs anymore. They're memories. They're anchors. They're mirrors. That's why Johnny still talks about music with so much passion. Movies gave him fame, but music gave him meaning. Acting made him a star, but music kept him human. When the spotlight got too bright, when the noise of the world became overwhelming, he always went back to the guitar. Because that's where it all began. That's what gave him direction. That's what made him believe in himself in the first place. And maybe that's the lesson here for all of us. Pay attention to the songs that keep coming back into your life. The ones that make you cry even when you don't want to, the ones that make you feel unstoppable even on your worst days, the ones that seem to speak directly to your soul. Those songs are telling you something. They're not just sound, they're signals. They remind you of who you are and what matters most. So let me ask you again. What's the song that changed everything for you? I bet you have one. Maybe it was the track that got you through your first heartbreak. Maybe it was the one that pushed you through exams, or the one that made you believe in yourself when nobody else did. Or maybe it was a song you didn't even understand fully at first, but it stayed with you until you grew into it. Whatever it is, you know it's yours. And here's the beautiful thing, your story could inspire someone else. So share it. And if you don't think you have that song yet, maybe it just hasn't found you. And that's exciting, isn't it? Somewhere out there, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe years from now, there's a song waiting for you. A song that will shift your perspective, change your path, maybe even alter your destiny. All it takes is one listen. When we look at Johnny Depp now, we see the legend. But behind it all, at the very beginning, it was a simple, intimate moment of connection with music that lit the way. It's proof that success isn't always about giant leaps. Sometimes, it's about tiny sparks, lyrics, melodies, chords, that plant seeds of courage in your soul. And who knows? Maybe your spark is waiting right around the corner.